Well, vaping has become a very serious health problem among our young people.
Yeah, but how do you know if your teen is vaping, and what can you do about it unless you see steam coming from their mouth or whatever that smoke is?
Used to be easier when they were real cigarettes. You could smell it, right?
Exactly.
So we're joined now by Dr. Laura Saunders from the Institute of Living to talk about why this is such a big issue. Hi, Doc.
Hello, friends, and happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you as well. Can we first, I don't really understand the whole vaping thing. What is vaping?
So vaping it's considered an electronic or e-cigarette. And again, I'm getting a lot of my information from our addiction guru, Dr. Craig Allen, who's the Vice President of Addiction Services. He helps me with some of these addiction topics. So it's an electronic cigarette. It produces an aerosol by heating a liquid, usually contains nicotine, flavorings, and other things. Very often people can have them right in their hand. You don't even notice that they have them. And then they kind of bring it up to their mouth and pull on it, and then that's how they take it in. It's sometimes called e-juice or e-liquid or vape juice. So they inhale the e-cigarette aerosol into their lungs, which could have nicotine and flavorings, but bystanders can also breathe it. And what we know is that, again, nicotine is an addictive substance.
Yeah.
It is addictive. And unfortunately, developmentally, teens do not have foresight into what I'm doing now could be harmful for me in the future. And they also have the developmental ego of toddlers, so they believe that they are invincible. So it's difficult.
Well, and also, I don't think, I mean, of course we know it's bad for your lungs, it's bad for all this, so we can say that till we're blue in the face, but I don't know that teens are even aware, and this is literally changing their brains, and it could cause long-term attention disorders and other things that are bad for the brain.
Yeah, I mean, nicotine is a substance. It's a substance that you're taking into your body. It can harm attention. It can harm learning, mood, and impulse control. And I've said for years that I think nicotine is the true gateway drug for teens, because the reality is, 35-year-olds don't just start smoking cigarettes or vaping, right? It's something that starts in your teen years, and that the nicotine, whether it's through vaping or cigarettes, is that first experience in your teen years where you're taking a substance into your body and it does alter your mood. I've never smoked, but I've heard from many people, young people including, that it calms me down, right? So it's that first experience where you take in a substance, it alters your mood. I think nicotine's the true gateway drug, because that's where these young people get the experience that, oh, I can take something in and alter my mood.
Now, semantics here. There's nicotine in both, but is an e-cigarette is it less harmful than a real cigarette?
So I'm actually not even going to make that statement, because I'm just going to say it's all harmful.
All harmful.
Because you can fill these vape pens with marijuana. You can fill them with other things. So sometimes, we as adults or parents don't even know what our teens are doing with them.
Right.
So I'm going to say it's all harmful, because anything that you're taking into your lungs is going to affect your lung capacity.
Yeah.
And there was an issue several years back where there was concern that the vaping was actually really causing some lung issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
And concern for COVID, people that were vaping were at higher risk of having breathing difficulties.
Yes, and we've done stories. There was a 16-year-old in Detroit who got a lung transplant, said he wished he never vaped. I mean,
I remember that.
A lot of it's never regulated, so you don't know what's going in there and how.
So what do you do?
What do you do as a parent? Because is it harder to figure it out because it doesn't smell?
Well, I do think it always takes a little bit of investigative of oomph on a parent's part, right? I mean, because what you start to see some changes in your child's behavior. They seem to be a little bit more secretive. They seem to be dressing a little differently. They might be hanging around with a different crowd. If you happen to find things, you could find vape pens. You could find they come in like little flavor packets and other things. Start to ask some questions. But I will tell you that if you come off in an accusatory way, you're just going to get a defensive reaction. It's going to shut down the whole thing. That as a parent, the expectation is I'm probably going to have this conversation several different times. So I'm not going to get all the information at one time. and expect some amount of defensiveness, right? So like, I'm worried about the fact that you might be vaping. I found something in your room, or I'm concerned because I've heard a lot of young people are vaping. Is that something you or your friends are doing? Or so make an I statement, ask kind of an open-ended question. You might get shut down, but it's something you're going to have to do repeatedly in order to try to get some information.
Yeah, you say here repeatedly is the key. You're going to have to keep doing it over and over.
Yeah, they're not going to give up the information on the first try.
Exactly.
Well, right. And you might say, what if you always say, oh, what are your friends doing? What if they say, yeah, my friends vape? I mean, we know a lot of local high schools have been locking the bathrooms because there's too many kids going in there vaping. I guess we only have 30 seconds left, but we're going to talk about this more on Kara's Cure. So we can get into it, how we can be a good sleuth, and just more about how damaging this can be. So thanks, Dr. Laura.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, we'll see you hopefully in studio one day, Dr. Laura. We'd like to see you here.
I can only hope.